1, 2, 3, at least 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. But I'm not an accountant, I'm just a math professor. They're getting their master's degrees at the same time they're getting their bachelor's. And I wanted to give you a bit of advice, and part of my advice has to do with the diversity that you have, the ingenuity and the drive that you all already shown. In this society, in some ways, we're rather polarized. Maybe polarized by race, by views, political views, social views, and it's really important to build bridges. Now, I could be saying this to any group, but I say it with a little more passion to the math majors because as a mathematician myself, it's very easy to focus on the problem I'm trying to solve. And so I'm good at focusing on one thing, and I'm not naturally as good at building bridges. Some of you are very good at doing that, and bridge cultures to come and study here. But others of you, maybe a little more like me, are very focused. So I'd like to encourage you, because you'll be going out into society with people of different culture, with different backgrounds. You'll be going to companies where you'll be working with people who aren't mathematicians, and they need to understand you, which means you need to learn their language. You need to understand how they see things. So try to build bridges, and because I've been working at this a long time, not as an expert, but as a learner, let me give you a couple of suggestions, which actually are modeled by some of you very well. One is smile. Some of you have great smiles. Always cheer me up when I see your smiles. Another is ask questions of the other person. I remember one of you came into my office for first year, 2 weeks into classes, and started peppering me with questions about what I did, about what research looks like, and so forth. So ask questions to other people, especially people who aren't mathematicians, and look them in the eye and listen to their answers, because that'll help you build some of those bridges. Another thing I'd like to say to mathematicians especially is we know what mathematical truth is. If we see a derivation, if we see a theorem proof, we know whether it's right or wrong. And that's important to understand what is right or wrong. But we're also a department of applied mathematics because we sometimes have to make approximations. All of us up here, the mathematicians, we know when we have a theorem that is exactly right, but we know in real life that there are times when we can't get the exact answer because we don't know the exact answer. We have to make an approximation. So I hope that you have learned and you will keep learning how to make good approximations and to know how good those approximations are. Because it's one thing to approximate and another thing to know how good the approximation is. Last bit of advice. As a mathematician, I get a couple of remarks when people ask what I do, and I tell them I'm a mathematician. I've been asked these questions or given these responses many, many, many times. And Judy took away my thunder a little bit, but sometimes people will say, well, the first one may be a little different. Isn't math already known? What kind of new math can you be discovering? And so I have to tell them that yes, there is mathematics after Newton, after Gauss, and I try to have an example in my pocket. Now, some of the esoteric math, like the Riemann hypothesis, probably I can't explain, but certain optimization methods are rather recent. A proof of the four-color math theorem is within my lifetime. So have in your hip pocket a couple of things you can explain to people to let them know that math is still a subject that is growing. Another thing that happens when I tell people I'm a mathematician, they say, you must be very smart. Now actually I'm telling you that's true for you. You are very smart. But I don't usually respond, yes I am, thank you very much, because remember we're trying to build bridges. So I usually say something like, well, I'm smart in math, but I'm not so good in other areas. For me, it's English. I rely on my Hong Kong-born Chinese Chinese wife, whose English is better than me, to help me write some of my English. So, how do you respond to "you must be smart"? Well, take that as an affirmation, but find some way to return the compliment. Another thing is people respond, "Oh, I used to like math," sort of, whatever like Judy was saying. "I used to like math until I got to algebra in 8th grade or freshman year. Or I liked math until I got to calculus, and then I couldn't understand it." And so, for everybody, there's usually some period, some in 2nd grade, some in 8th grade, which they don't get it anymore, and it's tough for them. And so we need to be sympathetic. And as Judy says, we may have to try to do some, but be prepared for this question, or this response, because I get it, I don't know, every few weeks, whenever I meet someone new, and we'll be getting it too, as mathematicians. So, as others have said, congratulations. Do stay in touch. We want to know what happens to you because we have great hopes for you and we have great confidence that you will succeed. Thank you. Michael Pelfmaker, the Associate Chair, to announce the graduates receiving the bachelor's degree.
So these will be all there are a few people who are getting a bachelor's and a master's. You guys are waiting. Or parents or whoever, wait for those. They're coming eventually. This is Landy Gu. Landy Gu. Daniel Cousins.
Distinction 80%, 100%.
Sarah Mashnas. Fernando Maria.
What are you going to do with that?
Tianchi Ju. Thanks. And I think Igor Jellico will come up to present the master's and master's degree students.
He's just waving me. ఇవాళ రెండు విభాగాలు మాస్టర్
Master,